You know what I did? I asked you to ask me anything. Should have known there's going to be a lot of jokers. Well, let me answer what I can. Yep, I did it. I asked you guys to ask me anything. I thought I'd get some serious. Wait, what's your favorite Star Wars figure? Why do you say action figure, not action figurine? I thought I'd get some cool stuff like that, but I'm sure I didn't look at them all, but I glanced at them here and there, and I'm sure I got some silly trying to be funny. But hey, it's people like you that make people like me, so I get what I deserve, right? So let's dig into these. I did it on Facebook and I did it on YouTube. Uh-oh. Hope I don't get demonetized for doing that. But let's dig into these questions here and see if they're entertaining or not. So let's start with YouTube. Do you like to just sit in the junk room alone and bask in your empire? Well, I'm not Darth Vader. I'm not the Emperor. I don't have an empire. But I do bask in my toys sometime. You know, sometimes I take all these toys off right here and I just lay up there butt-ass naked. It's a lot of fun. It makes me remember when I used to be a little kid. Do you like gladiator movies? I know that's a reference to the airplane movie, but I don't like gladiator movies. I can't stand movies where people wear sandals, and I don't like movies with kings and queens and dragons in it and stuff like that. Star Wars, you like that? They got wizards in it. No, shut up. What's your favorite Star Wars novel? I don't really read. I guess Heir to the Empire, but that's an audio book. So, my favorite Star Wars novel, well, that's not a novel. I read about the making of Star Wars, how Star Wars conquered the universe. I love that one. But I don't read too much. I got time for all that. Why do you always have to take a crap right after the shower? I just take it in the shower. I don't know what this guy's talking about. What was your job before you got thousands of subs on this platform? Hope your channel grows more too. Well, I do have a real job. YouTube's just my hobby. But the tax man doesn't see it that way, does he? But anyway, it's just my hobby. But hey, get more members, more subscribers, more everything. And maybe I can say, I can do just like Johnny Paycheck and say, take this job and shove it. But I've worked a lot of places. I've been laid off. I've been fired. I have worked. I've never been in a place more than like 3 or 4 years, which is paying for it now as I get older. And everybody else is like, I'm going to retire in about 5 years. I was like, I'll start over every 30 years. But I sold Kohler toilets for a couple of years. Sold phony welders. Welders. I don't even know nothing about welders. Did that till I think they realized I didn't know what I was doing. Used to work for, me and Russ worked for Hasbro part-time. So used to sell pagers at Circle K. Worked for almost every, if there's something in a grocery store, I almost worked for. I worked for a company called Buy. It's a fruity drink. Worked there. That's why some of my earlier videos you saw me in hotels a lot because I traveled a lot. Then they got bought out and laid everybody off. But then I worked for Coca-Cola. I worked for Pepsi. I've worked for a lot of places. So let's move on. I never had an office job. That's one thing I'm glad to say. I've never had an office job. Most of my job, boss is a couple miles away or they're somewhere else, and I like that. What's the Junkman Russ origin story? Well, I've told that before. I guess I can tell it again. I'll tell a shorter version, I guess. I was working at Hasbro part-time, but I used to go down to the comic book store by my house, Comics Plus, run by a guy named David, and we would hang out there. He had a buddy that would help him at the store named Chad, and Chad was best friends with Russ, and when we hang out down there, Russ would be down there, we start talking, we just all hang out at the comic book store, and well, I wouldn't say we were really friends, because I called him Ross for long. I thought his name was Ross, and I asked Chad, hey, we're looking for some part-time Hasbro help, and Chad didn't want to do it, because he was like in school, and he was doing a comic book store, and he said, why don't you ask Russ? And I was like, you mean Ross? And he said, no, my buddy Russ. So I asked Russ, and we started working together, and that's how we started hanging out. That was probably around 94, 95, somewhere around that time period. And been friends ever since. Do you like Tom Petty? Yeah, he's got a couple of good songs. How much longer do you have to pay child support? Man, do I speak about it on this channel that much? I got about 2.5 more years. Yeah, I can buy a lot of hot toys. Pineapple on pizza, get the fuck out of here. No, ain't no pineapple on no pizza. Pepperoni. Pepperoni is all you need on your pizza. I can't think of anything. Well, you don't have to ask anything. Okay? Have you ever been to the Star Wars Celebration Convention? If so, how many? And which one did you attend? I went to one Celebration 4 in LA. Cool. I went to Celebration in Orlando. The last one was in Orlando, which had to have been 2017 because it was like the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. Me and my son still talk about it. We had a good time. Let's run that channel then. I had like 500 subscribers though, so there's some videos on here of me there. And it was a lot of fun. I hope they come back to Orlando or come back because I'd love to go. It was one of the best cons I've ever been to. What was the first Star Wars action figure you ever got? And if you remember, where did you get it from? I've talked about this one before too, but hey, some new people here probably, so I'll talk about it again. It was going to Zayre's. Me and my brother went to Zayre's. We walked in there. We didn't know Star Wars. We knew Star Wars was at the movie theater, but we didn't know figures were coming out. Walked in there, and there they were. I can still see it in my head. And I was only like 5, maybe 6. Right there on the wall, and I was like, which one did I get? My brother got Obi-Wan Kenobi. And my grandma was with us. She said we each get one. And I thought about it. I said, do I want Luke Skywalker or do I want Han Solo? My brother was like, get that 3PO. That's the one I would get. If I could get 2, I would get him. He's cool. He's gold. He's like a robot. So I got that. Hey, my bigger brother told me he wanted it. We got to the car and he said, I would have got Han Solo. And I'm going to get him next. And I was like, see, he didn't want me to get Han Solo or Luke. He wanted. He gave me 3PO he didn't care about. So that was the first one, at least in my memory. That's the first one. You know how memories are. Down here, you remember that. Could Q destroy the Empire? What are your thoughts? Yeah, he's Q. He could go. Empire's gone, and he's gone. So yeah, he could do that. Who will win in a back alley knife fight? Glenn Danzig or Alf? But I don't know who Glenn Danzig is. I'm going to say Alf. Do you collect anything that you're never mentioned or shown? Have a collection of used celebrity dildos, but I don't really like to talk about that. Other hobbies, not really any other hobbies, I guess. No, I mean, everything I've talked about on here is shown, so I don't really think I've got anything else. Are you going to do a call-in show anytime soon? Probably not. It didn't do too well. I'm going to start doing a more weekly live show. Might work in some calls here and there, I'm not sure. I know there was a question I wanted to ask at one time, but I forgot. I've got a couple throwaway questions. If G.I. Joe figures didn't have O-rings or bands in them, would you have collected them? Not as a kid. I was one-track mind, Star Wars. I never liked the little rubber band figures. What do you think of the Batman 2002 film? Saw it. Can't remember anything about it. Remember I said when me and my son watched it, I thought, that's pretty good. That's how movies are today. I don't know if it's my age. I was like, I don't remember nothing about it now. How would you feel about the HasLab Cantina? You needed to make a video on it. Well, I did make a video on it. Well, me and my friend Bruce talked about it, and I think I clipped it and made a video out of it. I'm not sure if now it's on the live stream. I think it's cool. Way too big for me to put anywhere around here. Way too much money for me to spend it also, but I think it's cool. Wish you had a floor on it, but I like the figures it came with. At what time? Somebody asked, I don't know what it means by that. I'm too late. Did I miss the live? That's not the kind of questions we are looking for on here, but that's about 23 questions right there. We're going to hop over to the Facebook, the place where your grandma hangs out and looks at memes of Minions. We're going to go there and see what we got here. We got a couple here, and we'll see. Is Michael French your spirit guide? What animal is it? I don't even know what he's talking about. I'm going to say a gerbil. Why is abbreviation such a long word? I don't know. Gallagher. Oh, got Gallagher in here. What do you think of Michael French? Anybody watch this channel knows I'm not really a big fan of Michael French retro blasting, but I don't wish him no harm. Hope he grows his channel. I ain't got nothing against the guy. Don't want to beat him up. Don't want to do nothing. Just not my kind of fella, and that's fine. If he says something stupid and I see it and I want to make a video about it, I will. If he says something cool and I want to make a video about it, I will. If you like watching him, I don't really care. Honestly, once I turn this camera off and I'm not doing YouTube stuff, I don't even think about it. And I'm sure you don't think about me either. Is there anything in Star Wars that hasn't been made into a figure or a playset that you wish they did? My wife also wants to know when your brother is coming back. Well, the last couple of videos I did with my twin brother, they really tanked. The last 2 tanked in views. So, I don't know if we're picking wrong topics. You just don't like my brother. Gary is his name, Gary Junk. But playset of figures, yeah, I can't. Maybe as a kid, you know, I would have loved some more playsets. The Bespin playset would have been cool. Some with the carbon freezing chamber that really looked like it was freezing. That would have been cool. But I can't really think of a figure Star Wars related, because they've done everything Star Wars, so I can't really think of anything else. What is your favorite item in your collection, and what item would you buy if you had the money to spare? Well, one of my holy grails is that Magnum PI car and figure toy. I would love to have that, and a skiff from 1985. I got the skiff over there from the 90s. Where's my skiff at? Oh, it's up here. You probably can't see it because of my head. Skiff, mine's a 90s version. I like to have original, so there's some more. Like to finally get all my figures complete. I got like four or five that's not complete. I'd like to complete them up. But it's hard to pay a lot of money for an Ewok spear. Are all your vintage toys now from your childhood, or do you buy them again? Most of them not from my childhood. I do got some in one of these lunch boxes, but no, back in the early 90s at my comic book store local here, he started selling them, and I started buying them then and going to toy shows and stuff, and started getting really into them in the early 90s. When I was a teenager, I wasn't paying attention. My mom threw away all my Kenner toys. Well, that's why they're worth a lot of money today, because that's what happened to a lot of them. Let's see here. Is there a line you wish you started collecting but passed on? I mean, in the 90s when I was buying loose Star Wars figures, I saw cheap, or what I thought was like $30 carded figures, vintage. I wish I bought them, but I can't think of anything that's really like, oh man, I wish I collected that. No, I can't really think of nothing off the top of my head that's like, I wish I collected. I'm trying to think if there's some line. There's probably is. You know, I wish in the 90s I went back and got vintage Indiana Jones Kenner stuff, because that's worth a lot of money now. It's out of my price range now. If you could remove one of your video competitors with no question asked, which one and why? None of them. I want everybody to succeed at YouTube, and hey, the more they get views, the more I get views, because we're on the column, they're talking toys, my video might pop up and they might find me. So I don't want anybody to stop. I mean, just here to have fun. Have you ever bought something for your collection thinking it may be worth something someday, only to find out it's worthless? So what is it? It's probably happened a lot in the 90s when we rush out buying stuff just to resell it. That's Jenner right there. Kenner Custom Toys, that's in that question right there. One thing I can think about is a Thomas Riker. He was really rare at the find at the time, and this one has 0001 on his foot. But later I found out they said it must be a misprint. But somebody offered me, I mean, this figure was going for like $200-300, and I have a 1 on it. Somebody at a toy show offered me like $600, and I was like, no. And now I bet I couldn't. I bet now I couldn't get $50 for that thing. Something fine. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I bought in the 90s. I thought, you know, variations and stuff that I thought, but nothing really stands out of that. What's the price of aluminum? They just did it, so I wouldn't be able to say it. How many do you really hate? How much do you really hate Miss Piggy in diaper? I could not stand. Put it this way, I wear the see retro blasting in a diaper shitting itself. Sky Commanders? Nah, never. I was too old by the time they came out. They're okay. I don't want to hate all of them. To quote a British comedy program, The Fast Show. Anyone fancy a pint? I don't know what that means. A pint? I don't know what you're talking about there. Never really got British humor. There's a few British stuff I like. Blake Seven, of course. The TV show Spaced, but I never really like the Monty Python. I never really thought that was funny. My dad used to watch Benny Hill, and I was like, this is stupid. My brother used to watch somebody on PBS who was missing his index finger. I don't know who that was. Okay, let's see here. Have you talked about Ronnie Rude? I don't know who Ronnie Rude is. I haven't talked about him, but believe it or not, that's it. That went about faster than I thought it would. About 14 minutes. Well, maybe we'll do this again one day. So check out the YouTube post where we post messages. Community tab. Check that out, because I'll put it there. I think that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching. Thumb up, subscribe to the channel. You know all that.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.